back on the F and Adam Show. Guys, you can always hang out on our YouTube. Things get spicy. The most truth that gets told on this program is on the YouTube page. So please, in the breaks, in our YouTube exclusive. So please register, subscribe, do whatever you need to do over at F and Adam Show on YouTube. Now, we saw a record-tying 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12 picks on Thursday night. Things took kind of a stunning turn for the position. After that, we went another 138 picks until the next quarterback, Spencer Rattler, friend of the program. He goes off the board to the Saints in the 5th round, late. And with Rattler, I will say it was disappointing to hear the reports Rap Sheet had that teams couldn't get the image of a 17-year-old Rattler from the Netflix series QB1 out of their heads. I will say this. In our production meeting, in our prep for this interview, there was a good healthy conversation of like, do we even bring it up? And he was coming in studio, our first like big prospect studio guest. Do we bring up the Netflix thing, or is it like adding to a narrative that, you know, we don't even need to get to? People either saw it or they don't. Like, he shouldn't have to answer for it because it was so freaking long ago. And we landed on, let's give him the opportunity, if it presents itself, like if I'm feeling it out there, to let him sort of speak on his growth, to let him speak on his evolution as a human. Because if you're sitting here and telling me that you're the same human you were years and years and years ago, you're lying. And so I did ask Spencer about it, and here's what he had to say. That QB1 thing, Netflix, people have their thoughts. What would you have done differently?
You know, I was a kid at the time. That's how we competed. I'm a super competitor, so, you know, we get into it. I'm still close with those guys to this day. You know, I had a great time. Have a lot of kids and fans that come up to me and say, you know, they're big fans of me from that show. So it was definitely a blessing to be able to, you know, get others' attention and be that motivating factor for them to play the game, inspire them, the youth. So, you know, there's a good and bad, but, you know, I wouldn't change a thing.
It's hard for me to buy that the image of a 17-year-old on a produced Netflix program was the reason for a spiral fall in the draft. Like, I'd like to give evaluators, GMs more credit. I can't say anything. I've met him once for an hour. He couldn't have been more wonderful, you know, vulnerable in that, even just in that moment, but behind the scenes. I know that he had good meetings. I heard that from several teams. So I'm not totally, if there had to be something else, in my opinion, if that is the reason, what are we doing? Grow up. Like, we can't condemn a prospect off a bad impression he made when he was 17, if that's the reason. I have a sneaking suspicion it's not. Whatever happened, it's in the rear view now. You tell all the prospects, and everybody out there knows this, you kind of go where you're supposed to go, and you got to make the best of it. You can only control what you can control, and he can prove everybody wrong. We've seen it time and time again in the draft. Where you end up matters more than when you get taken. And when you look at the makeup of the Saints quarterback room, he's going to have a chance to earn the #2 job right out the gates here. He's going to get to develop behind a true pro in Carr, you know, great teammate. And if last year was any indication, he might have opportunities to play early on. You know, injuries are a thing. I'm not wishing that on Derek at all. I'd love to see him succeed and make waves in New Orleans. But between that rash of ups and downs because of that, I don't know. I think there could be an opportunity for Spencer to see the field at points here. I'm excited for what he's got ahead of him because he's got a chip on his shoulder. And if those reports are true, that's even more. So, Spencer, go out there and show everyone that they are wrong about you. All the quarterbacks after that top, they slid. None of them knew where they were going to go, and they all sort of, you know, win amok here. Spencer wasn't the only one. Despite Drake May, 3rd overall, the Patriots couldn't pass up on Joe Milton's talent. He went in the 6th round. I think he's a great value and great add to that quarterback room. RG3 and Cousins from the 2012 draft in Washington. Can you guys remember that? I feel like Milton has this ability to turn his journey into a Kirk Cousins-esque success story. I got through that alliteration perfectly. I talked to him about his arm talent, and here's what he had to say, along with some ridiculous visuals from the combine. Take a look.
I have a lot of confidence in my arm. Every time I throw the ball, I know for sure deep down inside I'll make that throw. Even if I miss, I know for sure that the next one I complete. But at the same time, it's just the finesse that my arm talent that I have, just being able to make every throw. And all the hard ones make them look easy, and then all the easy ones make them look more easy than they are.
I likened him to Josh Allen. I wanted him to go to the Giants and, have Dable get the best out of him like Allen. He can be an actual absolute threat. He's got some things to clean up. He knows that. He's working on it, and I'll have a chance to do that in New England. And I'd like to see him as a starter somewhere, carving out a place for him somewhere with the ceiling that he has in the NFL. Good luck to him. Finally, another friend of the show, a guy who didn't get drafted but found a home with my hometown, Chicago. Western Kentucky quarterback Austin Reed. If you're a Bears fan and you're following everything Caleb Williams does, which you are, he's absolutely running a clinic on winning Chicago over. Whoa, ha ha, oh yeah, he's excited. This is his reaction to Austin signing with Chicago as an undrafted free agent. These two have history together. Austin talked to me before the draft about his relationship with Caleb. What do you know?
Caleb and I met a month ago. He came down here to draft prep, and I've taken him under my wing. I've taken Caleb under my wing, kind of showed him the ropes, to helping the guy during draft process. But yeah, Caleb and I just mess around all the time. 90% of the time we're poking at each other, digging at each other. So I probably insulted him about something, made fun of him about something that somebody said on social media. But that's the relationship he and I have. I think that's why we have a great relationship. I don't take him seriously. I don't care that he's Caleb, and I think he respects that.
I love, what else? Chicago. Hey, all the bites about Hollywood bringing. What better person to have in your quarterback room than somebody who's get over here, knucklehead. You're not. He literally told a story about when he walked into the combine. Everybody's kind of oh, there's Caleb, there's Caleb. Blah, 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 blah. And Austin's get your ass over here and go. I'm gonna throw you the ball. That's amazing, and I hope that continues, and I think it will on the NFL level. And Austin, he's got a chance to stick around in Chicago. He was the nation's passing leader in 2022. The nation's passing leader, better than Caleb, who won the Heisman, right? Okay, he'll compete for the backup job. Rip, fine. Bajent, sure. We love our little moments of Bajent, but I kind of feel like he's going to win it because these two are going to iron sharpens iron. By the way, I do think we will have a not so low-key content landmine, or not landmine? What?